says Halacha Yomi. Number one, on page 361. The days between the fasts of the 17th of Tammuz and the 9th of Av are called Ben HaMetzarim, between the boundaries, between the city limits. These are the days in between in which the enemies of Bnei Israel entered Jerusalem and began to destroy the city until the 9th of Av, when they destroyed the Beit HaMikdash, the temple. Therefore, there are various customs of mourning that commemorate the tragedies that occurred on these days. So the customs, number two, the customs that are observed on these days progressively become more restrictive as the days advance toward Shabbat. The closer you get, the more restrictive it is. These customs will be discussed in great detail following. Okay, from number one, from the 17th Tammuz and onwards, we do not listen to music, and we do not dance, and we avoid reciting the bracha of Shehayanu. From Rosh Chodesh Av and on, we do not build or move into a new home. We do not make parties or weddings. One may not repair clothing, and one should not buy new items. See, after Rosh Chodesh Av, not including Rosh Chodesh, it is customary to refrain from eating meat and drinking wine for the 9 days. And then D, during the week that Shabbat falls on, is called Shavua Shechalbo. There, we do not do laundry, we do not wear laundered clothing, we do not take haircuts or shave, we do not bathe for pleasure, such as using warm water when showering. So therefore you see how it gets more and more intense as we go. This year, I believe we're going to have the Shabbat on a Sunday, so we're not going to have any Shavua Shechalbo. But at the end of the day, technically in a week that falls out, the week that falls out to Shabbat, let's say it was a Wednesday or it was a Thursday, so then that whole week would be forbidden with laundry, showering, haircuts, shaving, and whatnot. Okay. Tikkun Chatzot during Ben Metzarim. There's a custom to say Tikkun Chatzot, not at midnight, rather to say it during the midday and during the daytime. 3. Many people have the custom to say the daytime Tikkun Chatzot, Tikkun Rachel, during Ben Metzarim, which contains many verses lamenting the destruction of the temple. 4. One does not say the daytime Tikkun Chatzot Erev Shabbat, which is Friday. Similarly, you don't say Erev Rosh Chodesh and Rosh Chodesh Av. And the father of a baby who's saying Brit Milah, is having a Brit Milah, the Sandak and the Mohel, do not say Tikkun Chatzot. Okay. In general, whenever Hanun is not said, we also don't say Tikkun Chatzot that day, usually. 5. The general custom is one does not recite the daytime Tikkun Chatzot Erev Tisha B'Av. There are those who do it. Okay. Good. 7. Even a Torah scholar spends much of his time learning Torah. He should still try to say Tikkun Chatzot during Ben HaMetzarim. However, he should not say all the kinot. He should just say the most important parts established by the Arizal. Okay, moving on to the next halacha. Saying Shehayanu. 8. One may not recite bracha of Shehayanu from the night of the 17th of Tammuz until the 10th of Av. This is because one may not declare gratitude to Hashem for bringing us these times. What are you saying, Shehayanu? Thank you, Hashem, that you made us live. Shehayanu, Chaim, V'Yagiyanu. You came us, let us arrive to this time of the year. You established us until this time. This time that I am right now, I'm so joyous. Well, you're joyous to be in the 3 weeks. It's a very harsh time, very, very sad time. So you can't say Shehayanu in a very sad time, because the days of Ben HaMetzarim, the 3 weeks, are sad days and times of judgment. 9. One should wait until Shabbat to wear new clothing or eat new fruit that you have to say Shehayanu on, because technically speaking, you can make Shehayanu on Shabbat, so therefore better to wait for Shabbat. However, some refrain from doing so even on Shabbat for Kabbalistic reasons. 10. According to some poskim, one may say Shehayanu on a new fruit on Rosh Chodesh Av. Okay, 11. One who accidentally made a bracha on a new fruit, which would require Shehayanu, but did not yet bite from it, he should recite Shehayanu and take a small taste from the fruit to avoid bracha lavatala. A child is allowed to say Shehayanu during Ben HaMetzarim. Let's say you have a fruit that came into season, and by the time the 3 weeks are over, it's not going to be in season anymore. You're going to miss out on this fruit. You won't be able to say Shehayanu. So you're allowed to buy it during 3 weeks and make Shehayanu on it, but you should try to wait for Shabbat to eat it. Okay. There's halacha, when you see a friend you didn't see in a long time, 30 days, you're allowed to say Shehayanu. You say Shehayanu bracha. So let's say 16. One may recite Shehayanu when seeing a very close friend for the first time in 30 days. 17. One may not recite Shehayanu when wearing a new talit during the 3 weeks, but a hatan during his chuppah is allowed to say Shehayanu on his new talit under the canopy in the chuppah. 18. A boy who becomes bar mitzvah during Ben HaMetzarim may not say Shehayanu on no clothing, even if he only intends to recite it for his new tefillin. When you wear new tefillin, you don't say shehiano. So what does he want to do? He wants to cover it by saying, have it in mind when he's saying the shehiano and clothing. Still, he should not do so during the 3 weeks. There's a bracha you make when you have a bottle of wine. A couple people are drinking with you a bottle of wine, and then they bring out a better bottle of wine. So you say atov metiv on the second bottle of wine. So can you do that during the 3 weeks? Yes. One may recite bracha atov metiv during Ben HaMetzarim. 20. Dancing is forbidden, beginning from the 17th of Tammuz until after Shabbat. 21. Even though the custom is to listen during the rest of the year, to listen to music, to be lenient, listen to music, during Ben HaMetzarim, one should refrain from doing so. However, you can listen to music as a Sudat Mitzvah. Sudat Mitzvah is like a siyum, it's like a brit, it's like some sort of a joyous occasion. So here it's interesting. He says that the custom is to be lenient the rest of the year. During the year, really, you're not supposed to listen to live music according to Shulchan Aruch unless it's a Sudat Mitzvah, right? So going to a concert, really, according to Shulchan Aruch, strictly speaking, you can't go to a concert unless there was a siyum there, unless it's Chol HaMoed, with Samachta B'Chagecha. So unless there's some mitzvahs, that's wedding, whatever, Brit Milah, whatever is live music. But during the 3 weeks, you should definitely not do so. Even if you want to be leading during the year, like many people are, at least during the 3 weeks, not to listen to it. What about that's live? What about recorded? 22. One may not listen to either live or recorded music. What about exercising? Some people like to exercise with music. 23. One should not listen to music, even if he's only listening to it because he's exercising. When he's exercising. 24. One may listen to recordings of praises of Hashem, such as chapters of Tehillim with musical accompaniment in the background, not a song that has words of Tehillim with a catchy tune. Rather, what does he do? You know, there's people who put Parshat Aman in the background, right? There's people who put chapter 100, Mizmor Todah in the background, right? Or whatever. There are a lot of things they put in the background, and is the Hazan singing the words. But he's saying the Tehillim, and there's some background music, but not just some shweki song that has words of Tehillim that's very catchy. It makes you dance. That you're not allowed to listen to. Similarly, one may sing when learning Torah or while praying. One does not have to be stringent when singing on Shabbat. 25. Strictly speaking, it is permitted to listen to a cappella. A cappella is when it's voices only and no instruments. But one should avoid listening to recordings that are upbeat that might cause one to dance. Even children under age of bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah should refrain from listening to music unless they're below the age of chinuch. They're under 6 or 7 years old. They're allowed to listen to music, for example, before going to sleep or while in school. Somebody whose livelihood comes from playing music. Let's say you have an artiste, right? He plays for a living. He's allowed to continue playing music until the week of Tisha B'Av. Like let's say at somebody's occasions. Similarly, one who's a music teacher may continue teaching until Shavuot Shechal Bo. 28. During Sudat Mitzvah, Pidyon Ben, Brit Milah, Siyum Masechet, Bar Mitzvah, Shar Brachot, we all do listen to music during those times. Ashkenazim are strict and they don't even listen to music during these Sudat Mitzvah. But Sfaradim, you're allowed to. What about Brit Yitzchak? Brit Yitzchak is not considered Sudat Mitzvah, and therefore you're not allowed to pray. You're not allowed to play music at a Brit Yitzchak. 30. An Ashkenazi who is attending the Sudat Mitzvah of a Sephardi does not need to listen to silence the music. Similarly, if one is put on hold, let's say you're on hold, and what do they do when you're on hold? The phone starts playing music. They play music on you're on hold. You don't have to hang up the phone. You go into a store, you go into a bus, you go into an elevator where they're playing music. You do not have to tell the owner to shut it off. 31. One who's suffering from depression may listen to music to improve his mood. Okay, depression means literally depressed, not just, oh, Rabbi, I feel depressed, I want to play music. No, it has to be literally, clinically, he's depressed. Otherwise, it's not allowed. Baruch Adonai Olam.